Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel. My name is Darcy. Glad you could come check these out today. I've got 4 journals that are going up in my shop. They are what I call naked. There's no ephemera, no pockets, no anything. And there's still time left in fall to play with them. So I'm going to start with this one because it has a different type of cover than the other 3. This is a mixed media cover. It's got some collage. Napkin. It's been distressed. It is distressed to the point where it actually does have holes in the napkin. We'll pretend it was on purpose. But yeah, so it has a distressed cover, and then the inside it has this. It's a little thicker than paper and has a nice feel to it. This was the inside of a book that I had purchased. It's inside, it's, what do you call those? Anyway, it's from a vintage book. And this is also from a vintage book. This is the shape of the leaf. It's a poem. And I've distressed this here as well. And I've left it open. You can decide if you want to make it into a pocket or if you want to cut it off and make a tag. Whatever you want to do. And then we have some digital pages. I believe these are my porch print, and then a vintage quilting magazine page, and some a tea-dyed page, and my porch prints. And this is a little flip out from a book that has beautiful pictures, and this is from a vintage book of atlases. I just kind of thought it looked kind of like pumpkin-y because of the orange in the shape. This scrapbook paper has also been distressed a little bit, and another vintage book page and some vintage ledger. This, I think this is Artie Mae's. It was a freebie on her Facebook group. Tea-dyed page, more of my porch prints. I'll show you that page in a second. That's more of my porch prints, a different kit. Vintage book page. Has a deer on it. Just some regular ledger page. More prints. And then this is from a vintage book about Norman Rockwell. So it's got some of the post covers there as well. And then the second half just has the other sides. Hold on. Okay. And then here's a poem from a book by Gyo Fujikawa, The Kitten and the Falling Leaves. So I made that a little flip out there so they could be together. And that's just the other side of the page, the other side of all the pages. So this one, what did I do with the paper I just had in my hand? I was going to tell you how many pages and the size. And I had the paper that's, oh, here it is. So this, I'm calling hashtag fall. It is 8 1/4 inches tall, 6 inches wide. I didn't measure the spine, but you can see it's not very thick. And it stays fairly closed right now. As it gets thicker, you'll probably want to tie it with something. 76 pages includes both sides, and that will be in my shop. Next books. These books are what we call fabric napkin, fabric paper. So the inside cover is fabric, and these all have ticking on the inside. Ticking is just utility striped fabric, is basically what ticking is. Some people have not heard of it before. So this is 8 3/4 inches tall, 6 inches wide, has 84 pages, which includes both sides. There are 2 birds here. You can't really see that one very well, but you could probably outline it so that you could see it better. And here's the back. I forgot. Yeah, I showed the back of the other one. And there's some butterflies. Can't necessarily see. So basically, you take the fabric and you just layer a napkin upon napkin upon napkin. So there's like layers of napkin glued on here, and so it has a really interesting feel. It has a decoupage, Mod Podge, and a water mix is how that goes. This one was covered with Mod Podge. So that kind of gives it a protective coat as well. So the bird one, I just said all the things, is just sitting here. I didn't glue the pockets. This is antique papery and some scrapbook pages. This is from a magazine. And then you'll see these, you could just put a pocket on there or a cluster or something. It's, you know, some music page. More of the antique papery, which I think was Bordeaux or Hotel Bordeaux or something. Another vintage book page. Some dyed pages, which is like food coloring and tea dye together. More vintage book page, more scrapbook page, more vintage music from that book with the flower arranging. This is also tea and food coloring, vintage book page, more from antique papery. From I think it was vintage, but not sure, children's book. Then there's this little file folder right here, which you could glue to make a pocket or just keep it as just little pages. And this is poem from Gyo Fujikawa, and I just did this so you could have the whole poem in there. And whoops, the middle page is another post, Norman Rockwell. That was in the vintage book from him. And there's the other side of the hayloft. Sorry, got distracted. Squirrel. And from a Dick and Jane book, which I think was from the 80s, but that would still be considered vintage. But it has more of the glossy pages, more from that. And this is a little flip out, and you can see it there. Now, if you wanted to, you could like glue this down and make that into a pocket. It's the, you know, there's plenty, and there is a pocket here. And then the other side. So these are just short. I didn't count these two short pages. You could also make that into a pocket. Lots of things you could do with these. These are for whoever gets them to create and play and have fun. This is just a end book page. So it still has the, you can still see where it was in the book. It was attached in the book. The other side of that, the other side of that beautiful fall page, and our nice gingham, and the last of the antique papery, and this beautiful scrapbook page. So that is that one. And our sunflower type one is the thickest one, has the most pages. It is 9 inches tall by 6 1/4 inches wide. This back page does stick out a little bit further. I didn't hate that though. I kind of like the green peeking out. So it's up to you if you want to trim that off or not. So we have some green coffee dyed ticking inside this one, and this beautiful leaf page. And here it's got that, again, you can just, you know, fold that over, make a little text spot, put a little picture on there. This is my porch prints. Vintage book page, vintage ledger page, vintage book page, vintage book page. I think that was the, oh, I forget what they're called. Anyway, another bookend, another post page from the Norman Rockwell playing techniques. Autumn Leaves Are Now Falling is the song in here. What did I say this was? My porch prints, yeah. Vintage book page, scrapbook page, vintage book page, dyed scrapbook, my porch prints, scrapbook, more of my porch prints from a different kit, dyed, vintage, my porch prints, vintage from that vintage quilting magazine, scrapbook, more music, America, All Things Bright and Beautiful. That's a good song. And oh, this is the one that I had. It has the Thanksgiving Norman Rockwell page in the middle. And another song here, Grandpa's Turkey. So this one's like perfect for, you know, keeping your Thanksgiving memories in. So just the other side of everything. And the some of these pages were printed on I think it's a 24-pound, and it's got little specks on it, which is kind of cool. Scrapbook page. So yeah, I like how all these, and then you just put a banner up here, or you could even just fold it over to make a pocket. There's plenty of ways to cover those price tags up, which I wish they would not put price tag. Johnny works with one hammer. Ringo, Rango, Jingo. And here's the other page of that other post, Norman Rockwell. And I still don't remember the name of these books. Whoops. This is coming apart a little bit right here. I may put some washi tape there, or I may just leave it for you to, I forgot to what's the word that I want? So what I'll do is I'll just put 100 pages and not count this one, because it may come out. And if it does, you can use it to make tags. Immortal Autumn. So this one had an autumn poem in it. And then this is short on the back, but it still looks nice with these pages showing it has some interest. And what are you doing, Hallie? I've got a kitty getting into stuff behind me. This one is also one of the fabric paper ones, and you can kind of see a deer on there. It's got a lot of blues, and there's a butterfly back here. It is larger this way and that way than the rest. It is 10 inches tall by 6.5 inches wide, but it does have has 64 pages both sides. So when you fill this one up, it's gonna feel really good. Right now it feels a little on the thin side, but once you add your pockets and your tags and all the fun stuff, it will, or if you want to make it into an art journal, these books can be used for anything. You could add pockets, tags, ephemera, all the kinds of things, and journal in them. You could use them as a glue book or an art book, scrapbook page. Norman Rockwell. This is just printed. It's concrete wall. I like the blues and grays and browns and tans that were in this book. This is Antique Papery, Kyo Fujikawa, another printable from the graphics fairy, I think. And this one has some pokey little puppy. And this is some scrapbook paper that looks like burlap. And songs, strongly accented. And this beautiful, and then the pages are, they're not lined up, they're staggered for interest. And then this is just attached to this page, and then we have another deer there. And once again, you can decide if you want to fold that in to make a pocket, or put a little cluster up there, or what. Honestly, I kind of hope nobody buys this one, because this is my favorite one, because of the blues and the pokey little puppy and the greens. And that was the other side of the poem, The Moon. This is Antique Paper. Oh, that's the other side of the owl. Had some blue in it. And that damask. And I like the juxtaposition of the rough and grunge with the pretty damask. To my mother and father. Oh, this is the dedication page of the Norman Rockwell, and that's the title page, Reader's Digest edition. Oh, we can see what year it was. Hold on. It was, if I can read fast, read 1975. So yes, definitely vintage. More of the, I actually connected 2 pages of the Dick and Jane, and then the scrapbook paper, which I thought it was pretty to have this page, which wasn't a solid blue, with the solid blue behind it next to the blue ticking. And this one is not coffee dyed. The red and the blue are not coffee dyed, just the green one. So those are the 4 books that, see, I really want to keep this one apparently. So these will be up in my shop by the time this airs. And I know I shouldn't be having all this stuff in the picture while I'm doing Etsy stuff, but oh well. It's who I am. Sorry. Have a delightful day, everybody. Much love.